Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Kalia Ali here, and I'm excited to be with you today to do a little get ready with me and a little bit of a chit chat. Oh, let me remove these. So I have my not ring light, but my mirror here, my simple human mirror that lights up. So if I do a little peekaboo with you guys, just excuse me, because I may need to go in a little bit closer to just touch up some things. Let me power it on. I had it charging. So the big question that I've been getting from people that I know personally is, how was New York Fashion Week? If you don't know, I have been modeling for the past, I would say, good 16 years. And in all of that time, I've been completely local, just right here in my home state, Arkansas. And I didn't really know how to get out. I didn't have anyone vouching for me, any advocacy, any support. So when I left my hometown and I came to Little Rock, I thought that this was it. I thought this was the capital city and I would be able to become a model really quickly and really easily. But what I ran into was a lot of cattle calling and people in the industry coming down into these smaller towns and giving you false hope and making you sign up for these different things and making you spend all this money to get photos and all these things done. Don't get me wrong, you do need those things, so to speak, but it was really a scam. And they call them cattle calls, and they would come into our cities and they would pick probably 100 to 200 models just in different areas and then send you to somewhere like Texas or Las Vegas, only to be put in this room full of 1,000 plus people, and probably maybe a handful of those people would be selected and given a true modeling opportunity and career. So for the longest time, I kind of was down on myself because I felt like I didn't really have what it took to be a model, because no, I'm not your average 5'10" supermodel, runway model. I'm 5'7", but I love print, I love commercial, I love all those things. And so little by little, I decided to just keep pushing, and I've done everything you can imagine here locally. And it wasn't until 2012 that I made a connection with Kato Mamalu, and with that connection I was able to build an amazing working relationship with her, and just, you know, learn and develop and grow with her and doing her shows and participating in those shows. And then this year was that year that I, you know, really put myself out there. I had been going to therapy, been doing a lot of just some deep, you know, deep down research and discovery in self. And I was just like, I can't let age limit me, I can't let timing limit me. Like, now is the time. So I got in touch with her and I said, I really want to do this. And Kato is one of those that she is outside of the box when it comes to your typical model. She's not looking for a stick figure, she's not always looking for 5'10" and up. She's very realistic when it comes to the everyday woman or man. And so for that, I appreciate her so much for just, you know, actually trusting me enough to go to New York Fashion Week with her. So as I'm talking, I'm gonna go ahead and do my makeup, get started on a clean face with oil based moisturizer. I got with her back in the first part of May, and we decided that I was going to do New York Fashion Week with her. And we got started with, you know, practicing and stuff like that as the time went on. New York Fashion Week for fall was September the 7th till about the 10th of this year. So we were really excited about getting there. Now, normally with her team, they've been doing this with her for years. So, you know, they kind of have this knowing and already know what to expect. For me, everything was going to be like exciting and new and all this, other than the behind the scenes and the runway stuff, like that is a no-brainer for me. So basically what happened was I started preparing and prepping and, you know, doing my working out, my clean eating and all of that. So important to be healthy and strong even for the runway. So I started that, and then I began to like get everything that I needed, like just personal little knick-knack stuff that I needed for myself personally. So we ended up being, of course, on different flights, but we all left on that Friday. Normally she prefers to leave on that Thursday because that just gives us a day to truly chill out and explore and, you know, do all the fun stuff there is to do in New York. But there was time constraints, and, you know, some people still hold down a full-time job. Yeah, that's me. So we decided that we were going to leave on Friday. So I put in my leave time and I prepared to leave that Friday, and I arrived at about, I would say, 2:30 p.m. So when I got there, I had one other gentleman that actually took a different flight than me, but we arrived at the airport at the same time. So to cut cost, we ended up actually grabbing a taxi and riding to the hotel together. The hotel that we were staying in was the Stewart Hotel right there in Manhattan, New York. And it was amazing because it was close to everything. It wasn't, you know, like one of your major prestigious hotels where like all the big designers do their shows, but it was a really nice hotel. And this hotel showcases a lot of the shows for people like Kato who have done Project Runway. You know, they are still, you know, major designers, but they're not like your Dolce & Gabbana, Prada, where they're usually at like Studio City and stuff like that, those hotels. So in the midst of all of that, we got, you know, to our location. I realized how crazy traffic truly is, and we got to the hotel probably about almost an hour after getting in the car. So traffic was really crazy, but it was amazing because it gave me the opportunity to just like see all the sights and just really look at the city and see what it's like. And then of course we got into, you know, where's the best places to eat, you know, where should we go, what are the best districts, you know, what's the food scene like, because we were hungry. And so the driver, he was giving us some tips, and that was really cool. And once we got to the hotel, we hopped out, and Bruce and I, we got keys. Cato had already like called for us to get the keys or whatever, and they were out shopping. So they had gotten there like around 11. So they were out shopping, they were getting lunch. So they were like ahead of the game. So we were just kind of getting there and getting settled, and we took some photos and staged the little living area and took cute photos, because of course you want to highlight all of the cool stuff. And then we connected with them again, and we got on foot and we just started walking. And that's when I saw, like, in the city, it's like so amazing how people just walk, and it is the concrete jungle, and people just walk in flocks, like crossing the street. And it's so different from our downtown city living here compared to there, because even when they're not supposed to be walking in the crosswalk, if they feel like, well, the car is not coming fast enough, they cross it in droves and kind of basically take charge of the crosswalk, even if they're not supposed to be walking. So that to me was a little unsettling, and I was just like, what the heck are y'all doing? But you know, once I saw that that's how they did it and that's how they were going to continue to do it, I was just like, okay, you know, it is what it is. And so we got caught up with them. We sat down and we went to this place called Junior's, and it is known for its delectable cheesecakes. So we thought we were going to go in there and eat, but come to find out, it was just crowded, because it was just like, you know, it's already a big city, it's already a crowded city, but just imagine New York Fashion Week going on, so everybody was, you know, in the building. So it was just a lot going on. And so we thought we were gonna go and sit down. We asked for a table, and that really didn't do it for us, because the wait was gonna be probably about an hour. So we decided to go to the other side and just grab us some cheesecakes, because that's what everybody had been raving about, is, oh, they're cheesecakes, they're cheesecakes. So we got our slices of cheesecake. We sat outside at these neat little tables and just kind of like reconnected with everyone and asked everyone, you know, how are their flights in, and we began to prep for what we were gonna do for that night. So we ate our cheesecake, we sat there, and then we went back to the hotel and just kind of rested for a minute. We did a clothing change, I think. Dinner, and we had so much fun. We went to this wing place. I can't even remember the name, but it's like a barbecue. It's known for barbecue, but they have these amazing wings, and they're like this super sugary, like sweet coating that's on them. Those wings were so good. We went there. The wings were divine, and then we had huge drinks, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna enjoy my drink on Friday evening, because I know that on Saturday evening when we go out, I don't want to do any type of drinking, because I want to be ready and prepped for the show, because our show actually was on that Sunday. So I was just like, I'm gonna get my little drink out of the way and enjoy myself, and then be on chill mode for the rest of the time. So Saturday, well, we got to bed probably about like 12:30 that night. Us ladies, the guys, they were out partying crunk to who knows when, but we were just like, okay, we're going to bed. So we got to bed, I guess what I would consider a decent time for New York, And Saturday morning, we woke up pretty decent. Kato and the team had a lot on the agenda, and I was just kind of up in the air about what I was gonna do because I've never done the public transportation. I've never done the subway or anything. This is my first time to New York. So I was a little leery about treading those waters by myself. But I soon discovered, after posting on Facebook, you know, that I had made it, a family member that I just recently met 4 years ago via a family reunion. A lot of them live in New York. So one of the guys was just like, okay, cousin, I know you're up here. Please contact me, connect. So he messaged me and I got his cell number, and he was just like, can you get away for just a few hours? I've got a busy Saturday, but I definitely want to take you to a restaurant. What is the name of that restaurant, you guys? It's the it's a chicken place. You guys, I should have recorded this earlier because now I'm brain farting on all the details. I think it was Roscoe's. If I get it wrong, I'll insert what it really is in the video, but I think it was Roscoe's, and that is a very well-known restaurant that everyone frequents. It's just a nice place to go. And so he said that he was willing to actually get in his car. See, that's the beauty for having family and friends that you know and that you trust, because nobody really wants to drive their cars through New York. I mean, it's time consuming, it's costly, and there's always a traffic jam. So peekaboo, y'all. So he said he would come and pick me up and actually take me around Manhattan and then like down into the Lincoln Center and then into Harlem to some of the major attractions and places that you want to go to when you visit New York. So I was so thankful for that because I wouldn't have really known or had enough time to do the research with the fact that I was there to actually work. You know, like I really wasn't there on vacation. I didn't have an agenda mapped out or anything like that. I knew a couple of places I wanted to hit up, but to have that and quick access was very beneficial, and I thank him so much. So cousin Todd, you get an A+, and I appreciate you so much. So he came, and well, after we got up and got situated or whatever, they had things to do, and they had to run a couple of errands and go to a couple of stores and get some fabric. Like Kato had a lot on her plate, so they went to go and run those errands. And of course I kind of was like, are y'all sure you don't need me to help with anything? And they were like, no, you're good, you know, just go ahead and do what you need to do. And so while they did that, I got picked up by my cousin at about like, I'd say around 12:30ish. So he came and he grabbed me up from the hotel and just took me down like the fashion district.
Come to the city, I want to see the block.
Wow.
Now, Uber's out of control down where it
gave me just some background on some different things, and really, you know, just gave me the grand tour. And we got to the Lincoln Center. We went to several other places. You can see a lot of the photos on my Instagram, but it was just really amazing. Like I just couldn't believe it, just looking at all the skyscrapers, the people navigated the city. It was just, I don't know, it was incredible just to see all of that action and all of that movement, to see the officers in the middle of the street directing traffic and really being happy about doing it. That was really amazing. I just had never seen so much, you know, movement going on all at one time, just different things. And, you know, just the way the people were, they weren't rude per se, they were just on a mission, you know. So I didn't ever get that vibe of, oh my gosh, these people are mean and they just don't have time for anybody else. I never felt that while I was there. Not to say that it doesn't happen, but it was a really neat spirit of the people that I really, really enjoyed. So Saturday, so one of my favorite things that my cousin did for me is that he took me down into Harlem, because he actually lives in the Harlem area. So I got richly educated on Harlem and what it was about. And then he took me by this restaurant by the name of Melba's, and he was just like, I don't know if you know this, but this belongs to one of our family members. Melba, started this restaurant. She is a celebrity-based chef, and this is her restaurant. And he was like, the food is amazing. Now, mind you, because we were focused on going to Roscoe's, there was no time for, I don't think it's Roscoe's, y'all. I think I'm thinking of Roscoe's Waffles and Chicken. I have to insert this restaurant, and I will. So pardon me, but because he was going to take me to the other restaurant, we didn't have a chance to go into Melba's, but I was so surprised. And then the other restaurant, which my friends and the people that I was with in New York actually told me, Sylvia's, they have been there and absolutely loved it. And I didn't get to experience either one. So that this is an excuse for me to get back to New York. So I am just like, it is on my bucket list. I have to get back, and I have to take my son with me, because I have to go back and try my family's restaurants. Like, why would I not do that? So it was a bittersweet moment, because of course I went to asking why, why didn't I know this? Why did it take so long to connect with my family? It's just, I don't know. It's just really frustrating, but you guys know I was so grateful for this opportunity to be here in New York. So after that, he took me over to a church. Oh, he took me by the Apollo. He took me to a church to meet with some of his friends. And you know how God always works. You know how the universe always works. God is always watching. He's always comforting you and just letting you know that he's there for you. So as soon as I get to the church, I meet the pastor and his wife, and you guys, they're a young couple. They're both Southern, and the wife actually is from Little Rock, like born in Little Rock where I'm living. And they moved away pretty much early on. I think she moved into Virginia or the Carolinas, something like that. But anyways, the fact that I had some Southern roots there with me that maybe would understand, how I would receive the city life like that, well, they just were understanding. So that was very comforting, and I was really happy about that. And they were having a potluck event, and they were raising money. They were having they were having a fish fry to raise money for, I believe, a trip that they were getting ready to go on. And the people were very friendly. They were super sweet. So I was excited about that. And we just had a good time. And then after that, he took me to go and get my drink from the restaurant. We had an amazing time, and it was just beautiful. They had great music. The bartenders were amazing. It was just, the vibe was amazing. The city that never sleeps, it truly is that, because it's like always just boom, 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 like during the day, at night, and it was just really cool. So after that, he took me by the brownstones. You guys, I just fell in love when I rode through the neighborhoods that had the brownstones in Harlem, because you always see it on TV, you know, you grow up seeing it on Sesame Street and the Cosby Show or whatever, and it's never like real life, or when you actually get to see it, it's a whole different thing. And I think the first thought that came to my mind was like, okay, this is off of a scene of Crooklyn, and I was so in love, and I didn't want to leave because I was just like, these brownstones, they're just so cool. The architecture, the culture, just the whole thing was amazing to see and to be a part of. And like I said, it just wasn't enough time because I soon after had to get back with my team so that we could finish the rest of our evening, because we had to, you know, go over certain things, planning and what the agenda was going to look like for Sunday. We needed to make sure we had all the scheduling down, and we had dinner, because when you go to New York Fashion Week with Kato, there are certain places that she will take the team to, because like these are just places that have always been good to her, and she goes every single time she goes to New York. So these restaurants are pretty much expecting her, and they, you know, they're knowing she's coming. And so we went to this really amazing, I want to say it was a Jamaican restaurant, hopefully I can insert it, and it was amazing. So we were up top at first, and they were saying that our wait time was probably about 40 minutes, but we weren't going to not go in there. So that was like, yeah, we'll wait that time. So we were waiting for everybody else to catch up, and we ended up going down under to the lower level to get drinks at the bar. Well, they had drinks because I didn't take a drink because this was Saturday evening. And they had like a little DJ off in the corner, and then I mean, it was just, the vibe was amazing. And of course, one of the guys on our team is a dancer. He is an aspiring dancer, and he is so amazing. He actually helps to coach Kato's Young Stars dancers that she does, you know, part-time locally with some of our local city girls here in Little Rock. So he is just always dancing, always moving, just cannot be still. And that's what it was. It was just party, 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 party. So we were having drinks, the music was great, and then they were just like, well, since y'all are down here and this table is open, well, how about we just stay down here and eat? So we ended up just staying in the lower level, and we ordered food and just vibe to the music. So once we got done eating stuff, the music was just getting better and better and better. And by that time, everybody was just amazed by our little dancing machine. So like they were just filming him, like putting him all on their snaps. Like it was just amazing. So we were just having so much fun with that we just turned up there for like the next 2 hours. We just stayed there and had our own little party, and people were just like, you know, this guy should be doing more than what he's doing. He is a star, which he is. So shout out to him, and I hope that someday, you know, he will really take off. He recently left Arkansas and moved to Atlanta to pursue his career in dance, and so I know that he's going to go far because he's super passionate about, like, he can't sit still ever. So after that, we were kind of like, okay, so what's next? So after that, we decided we were going to head back to the hotel briefly, and then we were going to catch the subway for the first time. That would be the first. No, actually, let me take that back. My cousin threw me on the subway for the first time by myself, y'all, because they were kind of trying to tell me how to navigate it, and it's really not that bad once you get used to it. But when my cousin picked me up in the car, he told me, he said, I'm not going to be able to drive you back, and this is your time to shine and learn the subway and master it. So I'm going to drop you off at the subway and put you back on, and you should be back safely, right back to downtown Manhattan. So he and his husband were just super sweet and hospitable, and his husband walked me down into the subway and told me exactly where to go. He was like, don't be scared, don't be looking all nervous and scared, you're gonna be okay, you're gonna be fine. And I got my first subway ticket. He showed me how to get it, threw me on there, and within 25 minutes I was back to Manhattan and I knew exactly where I was, and so that was fine. So that's when we fast forward right back to where I was. You know, we were hanging out that Saturday night. So we went back to the hotel room, kind of got freshened up. Then we hopped back onto the subway.
I like it when you do it like that, baby. Feel like I'm in heaven.
What you say?
I just can't stop it, stop it, stop it.
Always clown. I got answers. I apologize.
This place kind of back down in Harlem, and it was this African club. Cannot remember the name, y'all. All this stuff is like on my Instagram, but I'll try to insert it. And you guys, we just danced the night away. I mean, I was just like, I'm going to be so tired tomorrow for this runway. Like, how am I going to survive? But I was with Kato, and you know, I'm just like, you don't miss the opportunity to party with Kato. So they were out, I was out. There was no way I was gonna stay in the hotel room by myself. I mean, for what? So this is New York. We are here to live our best lives and party. So that's what we were doing. So after that, we looking at my eyes. After that, I think we probably left at close to 3 a.m. and Kato's PR lady actually lives in Harlem, so we basically kind of said goodbye to her because she was really close to home, and then we hopped in the Uber and made it back to the hotel, and then got showered and did what we needed to do to call it a night or a morning, I guess, whatever, because it definitely was late. And then we proceeded to get some rest. So the next day, or after we woke up, we basically were getting ready for the fashion show. And that's when it's just like super duper chaotic. It's like, it's just chaotic, and you gotta just go with the flow. So that day I was kind of like, if y'all don't need me, I think I want to venture out and try to explore and go to a couple of monumental places that I want to go to. My son was wanting me to go to, I think it's Union Station, because he's obsessed with trains, so he was hoping that I could go there and get photos for him. I was trying to get down to Wall Street. It was just all these things. And when I tell you, like, I was like, how is this gonna work out? I just didn't know, because I had to be backstage or in the hair and makeup part of the hotel by I think 1. So we got breakfast, and then after that we they went to go set up their areas in the hotel, and I was just pretty much left to myself. Now the following day, on that Monday, we were going to be going to the View as a group. So even though I had something packed, they were kind of saying, oh, they're really particular about what you're wearing, and they don't want prints and they don't want that. And I was like, it's a red and white polka dot top. I think that I would be fine. I didn't really see it as a big deal, but some other people did. So I actually ended up venturing out on my own and going around town to look for a top and just an outfit for the View the next day. So I got out there and it was raining, you guys, like raining, misting, just everything that you didn't want to be happening right now, it was happening. And I was like, you know, what the heck, like what's going on? So I was dealing with the rain and everything and trying to find something. I ended up in Rainbow, like, and then I ended up in Urban Outfitters, found some cute stuff. It really wasn't what I needed for the View. I was like, okay, now I'm shopping for stuff that I just want. And okay, so I'm just like, hey, let's go with this. So I found a couple of pieces in Urban Outfitters. I ended up at Zara, and my boo had a birthday coming up that Monday, so I found him a gift. And just was trying to find like a few little keepsakes or whatever for my son. And when I looked up, it was probably 2 hours later, and I needed to be in the chair by 1. So it was going on, I think, 12 o'clock, and I was like, I can't go do anything else. I have got to get back to the hotel. So I made my way back to the hotel, no problem. Found my way. Everything was everything. Got there, and once I got there, I took the blue eyeliner that I had put on my face because I didn't want to like just be out like barefaced. So I put on like just a touch of mascara and blue liner, which pretty much is my signature. I love blue on my eyes. I always have. My mom gave me that hack many years ago, so I always kind of use it. So I got back, got my face cleaned off, got my bag, my model bag together for like, you know, just accessories and things that I need when I'm in hair and makeup, and went down there and got set up for hair and makeup. Hair and makeup was nothing any different than any shows I've done here locally, so that was comforting. But then like when they started on my hair, when they were getting ready to blow dry, the outlet just kind of like freaked out and wouldn't work, and so they had to stop on my hair, and then we had to move like out into the foyer to do the blow drying portion of my hair. You guys, I'm gonna just say this: if you ever deal with the fashion industry, makeup, any of it, just be prepared for the craziest of the craziest things to go down. And it may not even be so much so that it's just like a huge disaster, but there is always something going on that you may not even be aware of, that the designers are dealing with. So when they're on edge, or if they seem to be on edge, I have learned, and with Kato being so honest and forthcoming, as long as you talk to her, you know, you find out like they were going through so much and they have so much more going on than you would ever even imagine. Like, you think you're going through it in hair and makeup, they're going through it just to get the show together. So with all that said, there was just so many changes going on, and we were trying to get everything like situated, and then we finally got, you know, my hair going good, and then we got to makeup. And so at that point I was kind of like, are we gonna get to go and practice on the runway? Like, I was starting to get really concerned about if we were going to be able to get on the runway at all, because that's one thing about me. Like, I have my walk down and everything, but I feel so much more confident and better when I know like what the lighting is gonna be like, where I need to stop, you know, like just the markings on the runway. And Kato's like muse, her favorite model that always closes from her is also here from my area. And she even threw out like, we haven't practiced the runway, like we haven't practiced it at all, and we never do it like this. Like, we always at least get a chance to hit that runway and practice the walk. And I was getting nervous, y'all, like so nervous. So then we got into makeup, and I am not gonna lie, I hardly ever get a makeup artist that I feel justifies my makeup the way that I feel like it should be justified. And I don't know if it's because I'm not really a heavy makeup wearer, and I really never even wore makeup until I became like a beauty and wellness consultant myself, and just kind of started to understand makeup and how to enhance your already beautiful self, like just enhance your features. So it may be that I feel like they go heavy, or they don't really truly understand like what colors work. Now, I mean, they're the professional and I understand that, but sometimes just because you have a certificate or you went to Paul Mitchell or whatever, that doesn't equate to you knowing exactly what you're doing. And I've been doing my own makeup for quite some time, and I just know what I like. And like I said, it's hardly ever a situation where I am completely satisfied, but I'm also a professional, so a lot of times I just kind of sit back and I let them, you know, do their work. Because when you have been modeling and you've gone to modeling school and training like I have, you are really pushed and trained to kind of leave your opinions at the door and let the, you know, artist or whatever work and do what they are trained to do. And you're usually at their mercy. And if I could just get even my mom to understand that, because she is the worst with the comments, but if I could get people to just understand that, like, I think I would feel better about just, I guess, the work and the show and how things turn out. But really, you know, I really try to respect them and let them do what it is that they, you know, are said to do. Because you also have to think about it, once you're in that chair, the designer has her look in her lineup, and then she wants the makeup and the hair a certain way to match. And even if it may not be flattering to like your head type, or like your shape, your head shape, or your face shape, you kind of just have to go with it. And so I'm really laid back when it comes to that. Now, every now and again, if I just feel like it's something that's just really not working out for me, I may open my mouth and just be like, hey, you know, this is what really works for me, and this is what's very comfortable for me. So, for example, my lips, you know, my best features on my face are my eyes and my lips, and it's a lot of eye and it's a lot of lip. And so when people put Pepto-Bismol pink on my lips, I'm just going like, this is not flattering at all, unless you line my lip and you give like the pink like a little bit of like a blue undertone, or just something that goes with my undertone. And so sometimes a makeup artist will just be like, well, this is what, you know, your designer wants, and they just slap it on instead of like really delving into their artistry and saying, well, yes, it's pink, but this is the pink that works with this model and her skin tone. So I wish sometimes that there was a little bit more of that going on than just feeling like, oh my gosh, they just put this on me because that was the color selection. Because I think that you can dress it up. So my makeup artist, when she did my makeup and she took me over to the artist, the master makeup artist that actually did a full face on another model so that they could kind of get the idea of what the look was and how to apply, you know, the primer and each product and then the makeup. She looked at me and you could just see it in her face. She was just like, especially with my lips, and she was like, we're gonna need to change this and put a little bit more of this orange in with her pink. So she was trying to help a sister out, but I'm gonna tell you, like, I was just sitting there just looking crazy because I was just like, this is not the business. So my hair was beautiful, and it was a team from Washington DC who did our hair, and that part of it was great, but the makeup, ooh Lord, yeah, I just had to go with it. And so as usual, when you're behind the scenes and you're in hair and makeup and everything is chaotic, we actually were running out of time, and so we were rushed into the area where we were going to put on Kato's clothes and pick out our shoe size, because they provide the shoes for you when you're like at these major shows, but it's usually like one color and everybody is unified in the same, which is much different from when I do my work here in Arkansas. You know, usually you're bringing your own shoes and just whatever, and you know, they'll tell you a color and you just bring it from your house, but they, you know, get your shoe size and it's like all nude, you know, from one shoe brand, or all black if that's what's needed. So we picked out our shoes, fitted them. If they didn't work, we switched them out, and we began getting dressed. And by then, you know, it's just everything is high strung. Everybody's like all over the place because you got to really get out there. And so we did not get to practice the runway. And for you aspiring models out there, that's one of the things that really you have to be ready to just go with the flow, because you just never know. And that's why we are who we are. That's why we're so amazing, because you know, we're used to things happening like that. So it was just one of those, okay, we're gonna go with it, we're gonna make it work. And that's where I was at, and that's what I basically did. And so we were backstage and they had to take us through different areas to get us to the back of the runway. And it was so amazing because a lot of Kato's fellow Project Runway alumni actually came to do the show for her. And mind you, Kato was putting this show on like all by herself, and this is usually what happens when she goes to New York Fashion Week. She's putting on the show. Now when she does her events here in Little Rock, well, the major one, the Designer's Choice, she's not putting on the show. She has someone else that's actually putting on the show, and all she has to do is show up with her beautiful self and with her models. So this was a different level of pressure and stress for her that I'd never seen before. So I was just like, oh my. And then on top of that, this was a tribute fashion show because we were, of course, honoring Michael Knight. So Michael Knight has since passed on, so we were honoring him, and the Project Runway alumni that he had had been with for so many years were all gonna be featuring some of their pieces, and they were also gonna feature some of Michael's pieces from like 10 years ago up until, you know, last year, right before he passed away. And his sister was the opener for his line. So it was just a lot of emotion, just a lot of celebration and trying to celebrate his life all at the same time. So just know that the emotions were high, but we were having so much fun. And it was like the pieces that they had were so amazing. Like those Project Runway students, man, they are incredible. So really had a lot of fun getting to know them and know their story and know what Michael meant to them. It was really cool. And just trying to keep Kato happy and upbeat as possible, because that was her best friend, that's her bro, and you know, she had to love on and tend to his family too. So it was a lot going on, but we made it happen as we always do. And I was just so grateful to be a part of this whole New York Fashion Week. You know, I want to be back there next year, even if it's just to attend and just be in the experience, because it was amazing. But once I hit that runway, I'm gonna tell you, I was a little bit nervous because I just didn't know what to expect. Like, I just really didn't know what to expect at all. And we didn't get to practice that runway. So there you have it. But once I got on there, it was just all or nothing, and I just went with it. When we got to the end, those lights were so bright. We were not expecting that, you guys. Like those lights are the brightest lights I've ever been in all my years of modeling. It was just everywhere, and flashing was just everywhere. So some of my photos, they just look like but we didn't get to practice, so you know, it is what it is. Like I said, we made it do what it do, as always, and we just made the best of it. So it was amazing. And then after the show, we then had to get ready and we had to do photos. Oh, and in our lineup, we had none other than Miss Cherish from Real Housewives of Potomac. And I don't really watch reality TV, but I have seen a couple episodes of her, and I've always seen like how classy she was on the show. So that was pretty cool to have her like in the lineup with us, and she was just so excited and she rocked it, and she was just really like down to earth. Of course, she was real cool, but you know, that's how us Cancers are. So that was nice. And then after that, Cato had a little bit of PR, and she didn't do very much at all. And then we finally got group pictures, and then we got out of the clothes, and then went back up to the hotel room, and then we got changed into all white, because after that, Cato wanted her team in all white because we were going to honor and support Michael in all white because that is his favorite color. Fun fact if you didn't know. And we did that, and then we went to this venue to have a celebration dinner for Cato and the show that she did. Also with Miss Carissa. So we did that, and it was amazing. The food was so good. Food was good. Drinks. Oh my goodness. And you know, I was feeling fancy and free because I had done my runway show, so I could do what I wanted. So that part of it was just like, I can kind of relax a little bit. So I was really excited about that. And we just had fun. Y'all, it was doing so much raining. My nose itches. But it was doing so much raining while we were there. We were kind of like low-key disappointed because I was like, where's all this rain coming from? But you guys, we party hopped, and Cato was like, we're going here, we're going here. Like, she showed me a good time. She promised me that she would show me a good time because it was my first time, and she did it. Like, she kept her word on that. It was amazing. So after that, after we were at that celebration for Cato, she wanted us to go to this other hotel, and you guys, this hotel has like a party room, and in the party room is like this jacuzzi. Y'all, that jacuzzi looks so refreshing. It's so fun, but there is no way in hell I probably could find myself getting in there, because ain't no telling what all goes down in that thing, because it was couples in there just looking like they were doing a bit too much. But when I say it was just really nice, like the vibe was nice and chill, the music was chill, like there was no problem. But you was gonna have to give me my own jacuzzi, private jacuzzi in my own hotel room before I would get into something like that. But it was really amazing to see, because I had never seen anything like that. I don't know why my nose is itching so much, but it's itchy. But it was so fun to be there and just see the people vibing the way that they vibe. And yeah, so that was super cool. I was like, I've never seen anything like this, but it's so cool. And after that, we ended up getting split up because when you're dealing with like so many people on the team, and then you're just like with friends anyway, and then like more people get added to the group, like we were having to go in separate Ubers. So Kato and like her PR people, they were like in one Uber, and then I was just like with her other like intern people. So we ended up pretty much, I guess, getting split up, you know. And so I don't know what happened. They probably ended up like, some of them went to another party, and then Kato probably like got back to the room. But then the people that I were with, we were hungry again because really, honestly, there wasn't much opportunity to eat when we were at the after party for Kato. So due to that, like, we only got appetizers. Like, we were just snacking on things because there were so many people. And so we actually just like went and got food, and we went to this place, this restaurant. It was so nice. I got this huge delicious salad. It was so good. And so we went there and got food, and it was like, I know, going on 2 o'clock, and it was storming, pouring down rain. So I was like, why does it keep raining? So anyways, we had that to deal with, but we just sat there and talked and ate. What was the name of that restaurant? Oh, it starts with the C. I promise I had all this stuff in my mind earlier, but I just haven't had an opportunity to record, you guys. I've been so busy with like working, workouts, other projects. I just haven't had time. I haven't had time, and I got another project like Monday. I don't know, but anyways, I don't know the name of it. I'm sure I linked it somewhere. I put it on my Facebook. I don't know. But anyways, get this a little moisture. Maybe this will stop my nose from itching too. So anyways, after we got done eating, we were stuck in the rain, and we proceeded to go back to the hotel. And we got back to the hotel. Whew, it had to have been 4 a.m. And then our flights, thank goodness, weren't until about 2:30. Wait, our flights didn't leave till like 5 that evening on Monday. But mind you, we had to get up at like 7 o'clock because we had to be at the View at 9. So, I mean, people didn't get to bed till like 5 a.m. and stuff. And they had to be up in the next few hours if you were going to the View. So, of course, I was, I had my ticket to go to the View. And Omarosa was scheduled to be on the program, and I think that's probably the only reason why I actually even got a ticket, because before we left to New York, I was like on the website trying to get a ticket for the View, because apparently I guess everybody else had another way of getting theirs, but I was told to go to the website. So anyways, in that process of doing all that, I ended up, not being able to get a ticket. But then like 2 days before and all that stuff, I think it was probably that Thursday or Friday, like when they announced that Omarosa was the one that was going to be on the View, like tickets just opened up, like spaces just opened up. So I guess people really wasn't feeling her and they weren't trying to go see her. So I ended up getting a ticket, and then we got there, we stood in the line. It was all kind of people in that line, not dressed up, truly not following the dress code. I would have been perfectly fine with my red and white polka dotted shirt, and I wouldn't have had to spend money on the outfit that I went with. But what else, I could still wear it to work, so it worked out. And yeah, I ended up basically, seeing that they really don't trip about the wardrobe, because people were just in everyday wear. I've literally seen people in like hoodies and jeans and stuff like that. Like, they did not follow protocol. Trust me, they did not. So it worked out. It wasn't that bad. And sorry, y'all, doing makeup and talking, it is a talent. But anyways, we got, by this time though, on Monday morning, like, it literally was raining. It was wet and cold, and so we were just like, all right, New York weather, what is we doing? What is you doing, baby? Because it had just gotten so cold and wet. The first day was beautiful, like, everything was everything, but I don't know, the weather just changed drastically. And I don't know, it just changed drastically, and it got really cold and wet. And of course we had to stand out there for quite some time to wait before we could like get in the line. I'm so focused on my makeup that I'm forgetting to talk into the camera. Forgive me. So anyways, but we got in there, we got in the view. You had to be crunk and hype like the whole time, and they would like prompt you to be like, hey, and be all crunk. You guys, nearly half of the team was about to pass out because we were so sleepy and tired. Y'all, you talking about exhausted. I know I was a bobblehead in the audience like this, trying to stay awake. Do you hear me? Tired. Like, we were so tired. I was like, I literally have proved that New York is the city that never sleeps, because I did not hardly sleep. I didn't. And I don't know what it would have been like if I would have truly been on vacation and didn't have to like model or do anything like that. So yeah, like, if you have never been to New York and you're getting to do this like as an opportunity to be on vacation, or like, even if you're there working but you have some free time, just know that if you are like just into having a good time, there is always something to do, and you're gonna have a good time. You're going to really truly love it. If I were childless, say for instance, and all of that, I could maybe live in New York. I think, like, I may be able to give it a year. I really don't know for sure, because those 3.5 days, they flew by, but just the energy that I felt and the vibe that was there, I loved it. And like I said, I want to go back because there was just not enough time. I didn't have any major issues with people. It was just, to me, it was normal. Like, it was normal. It was fun. I felt really good there. I got over my fear of the subway, and everybody just seemed like they were there to have a good time. And the people that lived there, they were just existing how they exist. It's so much creativity there. It's so much more opportunity there. If I would have known then what I know now, I really would have left. I really would have pushed myself to leave, to pursue my passion of fashion and being a creative and all of that. You know, I really don't know what the space is that God has me in, because a lot of times, you know, people will say like, well, you know, it's for the best, or you don't have control. But I really do feel like sometimes you do have control over your situations. Another thing that I wanted to just say really quick was the word regret. A lot of times people love to use that cliche saying like, don't ever have any regrets, or there's no such thing as, you know, regret. Well, I really believe that there is, and I believe that it's okay to have regrets, because if regret wasn't a word that existed, then we wouldn't, you know, like if it wasn't normal to ever be regretful or have a regret, it wouldn't be a word in our vocabulary. It wouldn't be a word in our dictionary. So I think that it is okay to have regrets. And I think that my biggest regret is that, like, I can't take on my parents' stuff. Like, that's just not fair. They just didn't have tools, and they didn't have the know-how, I guess. Like, that's the only thing I can say. I know that I have to forgive them, and I feel like that I have, but I think my biggest regret is just not knowing how to get out, not even believing that it was possible. It's so possible. And I guess the only thing that I have that gives me some peace about it is just understanding or knowing that maybe I wouldn't have been really prepared. I wouldn't have known how to handle the culture or the lifestyle of this kind of industry, because I was somewhat kind of gullible and naive coming along, because I'm from a very small town, and just, you know, there's just not a whole lot that you get into like that, you know, in my area. So, you know, I think that I had to really be developed to even be where I am now, getting the opportunities that I'm getting now. It's just that I want so much more opportunities, because I love fashion. I love modeling so much. I love, you know, being on camera, because it's fun to me. It's a happy place for me. It's a form of therapy for me. Like I said, I've just recently completed some therapy sessions, and I probably will go into that a little bit more. But man, you know, so I do have regrets, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I can tell you that I'm humble, grateful, and thankful for where I am now. So that's basically that. And after the view, we got books from Amorosa, book Unhinged. We were on a day where they had giveaways, so we got some giveaways. We did all that. We got back to the hotel. We ate, and just kind of sat there and had to get out of our rooms and deal with all this luggage and figure out who was gonna Uber to where. And we finally, you know, made it to our designated airports, and we got back on the plane to head home that Monday. That was my boyfriend's birthday, so I was so thankful for his support to not even really be tripping that I was away on the day of his birthday. And I think that's one of the biggest things about us, as far as how we support one another, even when it's hard, or even when it may be kind of like convenient, or when you could behave selfishly. We cheer one another on, and kind of let each other be individuals. So that right there in itself it's a big thing, because it's so easy to be, I guess, almost controlling, or wanting something like to go your way, or, you know, feeling some type of way, which I know I can be guilty of that. So I'm super thankful that I do have that type of support from him. Like, he's just so chill and just so like, oh, okay, well, whatever, or whatever, where I'm more like on edge and more mindful, or more like, I'm gonna need you to be here for this. So, but overall, we're super supportive for each other. So I'm just really thankful and grateful, and I'm thankful for you all for being a part of my family and supporting me. And I hope more of you will, you know, join the family and be here, so that we can support each other, help each other grow, move forward, learn, you know, develop. That's what life is all about. It's a journey. And thank you for chilling with me while I do my makeup. This is really my first time, I think, doing a chit chat get ready with me, so it is what it is. But you guys are super loyal, and thank you so much for being a part of my family. And make sure that you bring more people aboard to the family and give me some feedback. You know, let me know what you're thinking. Let me know what you think about the fashion industry and that lifestyle. If it's something that you do that you would never do. If you're a New Yorker, let me know some spots that I could visit the next time I'm there, because that is something that I'm not gonna give up on. I will get back to New York. I'm gonna make that happen, because I really loved it there. You guys were amazing. New Yorkers, thank you so much for having me. So this is pretty much the end of my chit chat and my makeup look. I just gotta finish my lips, and then I gotta do my hair because I gotta go and do some photos or whatever. But that's pretty much all I have. And please let me know what you'd like to see from me next. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much. Love you, love you. All right, family, I wanted to make sure that I showed you the final look as well. I'm loving it. It's super cute. Oh, the Lippie is Pat McGrath.